Hey, it's me again. Alright, so I did something before we get this going. I put one more rock up underneath that edge to kind of straighten it up, give it a little bit more height. So it's pretty level all the way across, level with the wood anyways, on the bottom. It's not perfectly level, but it'll work for me. And spent the last about 30-45 minutes gathering more rocks. I placed some where I kind of want them. We'll see. Now it's getting mud time. So when I get the mud, we'll start a video where in a short time span, you'll see me getting mud a bucket at a time, bringing in here, and we're going to start setting rocks. First things first, I got to deal with the bottom. Okay, I'm not going to do the sides quite yet, but we're going to get to it probably after the fire dies down a little bit, because I'm going to be slinging mud. It'll put the fire out and everything else. So we're going to get to work some more. If you can tell, I've been sweating just a little bit. So we've got rocks for days. And that's just what I pulled off a little bit of the hillside right there. And I wanted to explain something to you. I'm pulling the rocks off the hillside for a reason, and why I'm not going down to the creek. If anybody out there knows that's an outdoorsman, all right, even in a fire pit, you never use river rocks. Ever, 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 ever. Why? The reason why is because, and I'm glad you asked that question, why? The rocks are soaked in water, okay? They retain a lot of water in them. So when you put heat to something that's got water in it, it tends to boil the water, which makes steam. And the rocks explode. So if you take them off the hillside, they're dry most of the time. And that's what you want to make a fireplace or a fire pit out of. That way the rocks tend not to break apart as often. Some of them will break apart, but that's because of whatever. Being sandstone like these are, sandstone shale, they're going to degrade over time. So, but I don't want the chimney or the fireplace to all of a sudden start exploding rock by rock. It'll all just fall in. Because the chimney will carry heat. Eventually all the rocks in there will dry out. Sure, it's going to have water coming down on them from the rain and the snow and all that good stuff. But for the most part, they're going to stay dry. Because when you stack them up, yeah, it's got some mud. The mud's going to dry. Don't worry about the mud. And stacked rocks on top of one another are not going to get wet with the mud being in there. Right? So the only portion that's going to be wet will be the outside. So if anything pops, it's the outside of the stone. But in the chimney part of it, there's not a lot of heat. Most of the heat is going to be taken care of by that big old cap rock. That's why I made it thick. I cut it to the length I wanted it. I had to knock some stuff off of it to make it fit. The inside sides of the fireplace, those are going to have a lot of heat, and the bottom is going to have a lot of heat. So I put thick rocks around. Yes, they're going to degrade over time. I get that. But for the most part, they're going to be dry. The side rocks will dry out. They don't carry a lot of heat. It's this cap rock that does. And So once I start putting the chimney in, the smoke should start going out the chimney because there won't be any wind through it. Instead of having all the, if you can tell, I know it's light, but the smoke is coming out the front end because we have a breeze that's going that way. So once I start putting this chimney together, get it high enough, and get this all enclosed in here on the backside, get it all enclosed where there's just a hole, and then I start going up with it, the smoke should automatically just start going up in there. Now I might have to tilt the caprock just a little bit, but I'm not going to tilt it until I get to the point where the chimney is almost as high as the bottom of the caprock. Then I have to work on the inside and put the two sides together and put this other little rock on there to where this little rock is going to hold when I tilt this caprock just a little bit. When I tilt it just a little bit, the smoke tends to go uphill. So it'll go up the back of the rock and up the chimney. I may split this rock lengthwise in half because I'm probably not going to need all that much rock. I just want enough to slide it underneath, and I don't want it all that thick because this is just going to be the hangover. Now it depends on what the sides look like, depending on which side I want to put up and which side I want to put down. So we're going to take a look at that, but that'll be in a little bit. What I want to do, I've got to have, I would say probably 3 to 4 buckets of mud just to get the rock up tall enough to where I'm probably going to start coming to the inside, build up those little walls, put in the secondary caprock, the one that's going to overhang just a little bit. I don't want it to intrude too much into the cabin. I want it in the cabin, but I may just take this rock out and have this the front of my fireplace. And then what I'll do is I'll build a rock wall, just a small one, whoop, up. I'm going to make it a little thicker than what this is, so it will hold this caprock in place. I may take the chisel and knock this edge off just to make it straight. And then we'll build this little wall right here. The reason why I want that done like that is it gives me more space in here. The fire, I can, because of the base of where the chimney is going to be at, will be about the middle of that. So I can shove the fire back in here quite a bit and catch just the butt end of the caprock, and it'll go up. I may not have to put another caprock in here, which would be nice. And then all I got to do is build up the side and then go in, hold this a little bit. I may tilt this just a little bit, put like a little rock in there to help tilt it. Same on the other side. Put a little wall over there, bring it up. That way it'll hold the caprock from sliding forward. It's not going to hold a lot of weight, because I kind of like the way that sits just right there. I mean, there's enough room to put like a pair of boots on there, or a set of gloves, or something that they got wet. You could put the boots off to the side or out in front of this thing, and they'll dry off. But I can scoop the fire from where it's at back about 6-8 inches back in there. I could have the fire directly up underneath the chimney, and it will still heat inside. The ambient heat will heat the inside of here. And if I have to, I just bring the fire to me just a little bit, so it's not smoking out in here. But I do like the way that this cap rock fits. I'm kind of kicking myself because I actually wanted this flat piece right here, this straight piece on the inside. That's okay. Doesn't bother me one bit. This kind of gives it the character that I'm looking for. So, we're going to start mudding here in just a minute. And I've got my hammer out here to shape some rocks if I need to. Break them in half, whatever. I have some majorly big rocks. Those big rocks are going to be on the bottom. And they'll get smaller as I go up. And I brought down some big rocks off of the hill. So there's big rocks all over the place here. And so I will be making sure that they all fit. I may get my chisel out here to where I can chisel some off, make sure it fits. So all the rocks that are here are actually going to come back off one at a time. I'm going to mud down on the bottom, stick them on there, mud in between, and just go from one side to the other. Then, before I mud the top of it, if I need to, or even the outside of it, I need to cut fit a bunch of these rocks. You set them in there, you cut them to size or whatever. You might find, like there's a rock over here that I'm not liking, it's a little high. It can be that way. I can just got to put another rock on that one and bring out a tall rock that transitions kind of down. But I've got to start making it as level as possible from this point on. It's got to be level going up. So if I don't have a rock that'll fit there, I got to go up the hill and drop more rocks down, which I'm going to have to do that anyways. And I'm going to end up with a pile of rocks down here, which is a good thing. Okay, now, the extra rocks. Remember I said way back in the video that from about this log to the side logs here, I'm going to lay down one or two or three logs in here, okay? And it's going to go out. This is going to be kind of like my little porch, right? Out in here, there will be a little fire pit ring. I'll bring out some chairs so people can sit out here when it's not hunting season, when it's camping season and whatnot. Sit outside instead of being in here. Now, in the evening, we can retire it in here. There will be almost a queen size bed right here. Boom. Okay. Over here, the wood that I have stacked there is going to go away. Basically, this is going to be a little area where you can put, it'll be like a little box. I'm going to make like a little, how do I want to say it? A chest box, kind of like, so you can put blankets or clothes or something in there to where they stay nice and warm and dry because of the fire. In this corner over here, I'm going to put all the, like the fire poker and everything. I'm going to get like a little kit, put it in here. And I will also, right next to it, have an ash bucket with a shovel, a small fireplace shovel. That'll go right there. So this is what I'm looking at. Now the door. Okay, so the bed's going to come out somewhere right around in here, about half the size of this floor. That's almost a queen size. Might be a full, but we're going to figure it all out. The door, instead of opening outside, I'm going to have it open inside. And I'll have a latch right over here to where I can hook latch it and it'll stay open. So it's going to open up and it's going to be a little access here. Behind it, I'll probably have a broom or whatnot. From a little bit farther from the door, this way, right in here, to about 2 feet over there, which is a good 10 feet, there's going to be